Hi guys, and welcome to week 2, session 2. First we'll be starting with the warm-up. The first position we will be doing is cat-cows with arm slides. Like always with our cat-cow, we need to get into our tabletop position, making sure that our knees and hips and shoulders and wrists are in line. When ready, push your belly button down to the floor, lifting your chin so you're looking up at the sky. As we move into cat position, tuck your chin in, curving your hips underneath as you arch your back towards the sky. As we move into cow position, push our belly button to the floor, lifting our chin and lifting our gaze. We want to make sure that we are pushing up through the shoulders and not dropping into them. As we move back into cat position, remember that we want to ripple through our spine from our head to our bum. As we move back into cow position, remember to push the belly button through the floor and lift our gaze high up to the ceiling. As we move back into cat position, we want to remember to tuck our tailbone under, arching through our back and keeping our chin towards our chest. As we move back into cow position for the final time, remember to push our belly button through the floor and that we're having equal contact with both hands and knees. As we move back into cat position, tuck our chin to our chest and ripple through the spine, arching our back towards the ceiling. Now take yourself into your neutral tabletop position before taking your left arm and sliding it underneath your right arm so that your left shoulder is now against the mat. When you are ready, return yourself back to tabletop position. Now take your right arm and do the same, making sure that our right shoulder is now placed against the floor. Return back to tabletop before taking our left arm underneath again. As we return back to tabletop for the final time, take our right arm underneath, making sure that our right shoulder is placed against the floor. Well done, that is this exercise over. We will now go on to standing side stretch. For this position, we want to make sure that we have a wide stance. When ready, place your hand on your hip and fold over your hand to the side. We should be feeling a stretch from our armpit down to our knee. Return back to neutral before placing our hand on the opposite side and folding over this hand. When you are ready, take it back through neutral before folding over the opposite side again. Return back to neutral before placing a hand on the opposite side and folding over this hand. When you are ready, return back to neutral. Turn both your feet so they are facing the left and bend over your front foot. Return back to neutral and rotate feet so that they are facing the right. Bend over your front leg again. Return back to neutral, and that's this exercise over. The next one we will be doing is neck rotations. Rotate your head so that you are looking over your left shoulder. Return back to neutral and look over your right shoulder. Return back to neutral and look up at the sky. Now flow back through neutral before taking chin to chest. Now we're going to return back to neutral and take our left ear to our left shoulder. Move back through neutral and take your right ear to your right shoulder. Well done, that is the warm-up over. We will now move on to the main session. The first position we will do is Warrior 1. For this position, we're going to take a big step back into a lunge. We're going to adjust our back foot to 45 degrees and bend our knee so that it's not going over our front toe. When you're ready, bring your arms above your head. Make sure that you are pushing into your lunge through your hips. When you're ready, drop your arms to your sides, straighten your leg and step forward. We will now move to the opposite side. When ready, take a big lunge back, adjust the back foot to 45 degrees, push our hips forward to deepen our lunge, bring our arms above our head. When you are ready, drop your arms to your side, straighten your legs and step back forwards. We will now return to the other side and complete the exercises again. Take the big lunge back, adjust the foot to 45 degrees, making sure that our knee is not going over our toes. Bring our arms up and push forward further with our hips to deepen our lunge. When ready, drop our arms to our sides, straighten our legs and return to standing. Now move back to the other side. Take the deep lunge back, adjust the foot to 45 degrees, push forward with the hips and bring our arms above our head. When you are ready, bring your arms back down to your sides, straighten your legs, and that is the exercise over. We will now move on to chair pose, onto toes. For this position, we're going to take a stance slightly narrower than our normal standing position. Take our arms above our head, bend our knees and hinge at the hips into our chair pose. When you're ready, straighten your legs and roll up through your toes so that we are now standing on our toes. When you are ready, lower your heels back to the floor, bend our knees and hinge at the hips, returning to our chair pose. When you are ready, straighten your knees and roll through the feet back up onto our toes. Now return back to neutral standing. Use this time to reset your body and relax your shoulders. When you are ready, take your arms back to above your head and return to chair pose. As we move back through onto our toes, make sure that your core is being engaged and that we are stabilising through our ankles. When you are ready, roll back through the toes, back into chair pose. As we go back onto our toes for the final time, roll through the feet, engaging the core and keeping our arms above our head. Well done, that is this position complete. We will now move on to Warrior 3. When you are ready, take your arms above your head, place your foot backwards and hinge at the hips so that our hands are now placed on the chair. If you can do this without placing your hands on the chair, feel free to do so. We're going to lift our leg and make sure that we are in a T shape. When you're ready, place your foot back on the floor and return to normal standing position. Now move to the other side and complete the exercise again by placing the foot behind us and arms above our head before hinging at the hips to place our hands on the chair. Now return back to neutral standing position. The exercise is now over. The next pose we will do is boat pose. For this position, we want to be sat on our bum with our knees bent in front of us. When ready, move your weight so that we are balanced on our sit bones. We want to place our arms out in front of us so that they are in a V shape. Now it's time to relax. Place your feet on the floor and return back to a normal sitting position. Now return back to our starting position before lifting our feet off the floor, ready for our second set. That is the second one complete. Now get ready for the third and final one. Lift your feet off the floor, engaging your core and balancing on your sit bones. Well done, that's this position ended. We will now move on to the bridge pose. When you are ready, move into the sitting position, making sure that our legs are bent out in front of us. Lie down. When ready, push our bum up so that we make the bridge position. We are now going to hold this for 20 seconds. When you are ready, drop your hips back to the floor. We will now have 20 seconds rest. It's now time to complete the second set. Push your hips up to the sky, contracting your glutes and your hamstrings. You can now drop your bum back to the floor. It's now time to complete the third set by pushing our hips up to the sky again. Well done, that is this exercise complete. Now for the cool down. The first pose we will do is child's pose. For this position, we want to get into our tabletop pose. You can step your hands slightly further forward if you would like. Drop your bum back to your heels. We want to be able to feel this stretch from our fingertips all the way down to our bum. That is this exercise complete. Now for the final position, we will be doing a supine twist. For this position, we want to lie on our back with our knees bent. When ready, place our arms above our head and drop our knees to the left side. We want to make sure that we are keeping both our shoulders on the floor, but only our left bum cheek. When you are ready, return back to neutral and roll your knees to the right hand side. When you are ready, transition back through neutral and roll back onto our left hand side. And for the final time, roll back through neutral and onto our right hand side. Return our legs back to neutral. Well done. That is the session over.